Working with and around electrical equipment comes with a lot of hazards. That's why the NFPA 70E standard sets out various ways to protect yourself in these situations. One thing you can do is simply inform yourself about the equipment that you're working with by looking at their labels. All switchboards, panels, meter socket enclosures, and motor control centers should be labeled with their nominal system voltage, arc flash boundary, minimum arc rating for clothing, and the level of PPE that should be worn when working on the equipment. So it's important that the labels are legible. If a label isn't durable enough to withstand the environment it's in, or you have trouble reading it, notify your supervisor. Another thing that NFPA 70E discusses is the use of personal protective equipment, PPE. Remember, PPE is the last line of defense. Without other protection measures, it can't protect you from all of the potential injuries that could occur on its own. However, it can minimize the severity of injuries, as long as it is maintained in a safe, clean, and reliable condition. When there is the possibility of head injury, NFPA 70E requires you to wear head, face, neck, and chin protection. This can include an arc-rated hood, balaclava, or a face shield. If you wear a face shield, it needs to provide wraparound guarding to protect your face, chin, forehead, ears, and neck area. You should also wear safety glasses or goggles and ear canal inserts to protect your eyes and ears. To avoid an electric shock to your arms and hands, you need to wear rubber insulating gloves and sleeves with protectors. To guard against an arc flash, heavy-duty arc-rated leather gloves are best. And don't forget about your feet. Insulated or leather footwear can provide protection against electric shock and arc flash events as well. As for the rest of your body, you should wear arc-rated clothing, such as an arc flash suit, to protect yourself against thermal burns when you are within the arc flash boundary of the equipment you're working on or using. Regardless of the type of PPE you wear, it's important that it has a loose fit to provide additional thermal insulation and it fully covers your body. But even with all these precautions, you aren't done yet. It's also important to use the right tools and protective equipment when you're working around electrical hazards. Any tools that you work with within a restricted approach boundary area should be insulated and need to be rated for the voltages they are being used with. The NFPA 70E standard also lists physical or mechanical barriers that can be used as a protective measure when you're working around exposed energized electrical conductors that operate at 50 volts or more to prevent any accidental contact. It's also essential to understand the procedural precautions you should take while you're working around electrical equipment that can help to keep you safe. For example, the NFPA 70E standard stresses that you must be alert and aware while you're working with or near electricity or electrically powered equipment. So if you're feeling tired, sick, or distracted, alert your supervisor immediately. You should also look for safety signs and barricades that have been positioned in or around the equipment you are working with to keep you informed and away from potential hazards. To be fully aware of everything in your work area, you need proper lighting. If you can't see what you're doing, you can't safely perform a task. Similarly, you should never blindly reach into spaces that could contain exposed electrical conductors or circuit parts. NFPA 70E also warns against wearing anything that could be conductive, such as jewelry, watches, keychains, or even metal-framed glasses. And any doors or hinged panels on equipment that you're working with must be secured. Otherwise, they could swing open, exposing you to energized electrical conductors or circuits. If your work area is overcrowded or messy, it could prevent you from having clear access to the equipment or to escape passages. So before you start any job, always make sure the surrounding area is neat and clean. But in some cases, despite all of these precautions, the equipment that you're working on could fail on its own. So NFPA 70E advises that if there is any indication that electric equipment could fail, it should be de-energized immediately. If this does happen, you should not re-energize the equipment until the cause of the failure has been identified and repaired.